All right, today we're going to dive into the absolutely wild story of a man, a dog, and an inheritance so big it's almost hard to believe. We're talking about the movie Entertainment. So, let me just start by asking you this. How far would you really go if you knew a life-changing fortune was on the line? It's a classic question, right? But the story we're about to unpack, well, it takes that question to a whole new level of crazy. Because for our main guy, the answer to that question leads him all the way to Bangkok. And what does he find there? His main competition, his rival for this massive fortune, is a golden retriever. You heard me right, a dog. Okay, so let's back up and meet our protagonist. His name is Akil, and his life is, to put it mildly, a real struggle. He's a hustler, just trying to get by, bouncing from one odd job to another, barely making ends meet. You know, Akil's entire world is built on this huge gap between the life he wants and the life he has. The dream is simple: marry his girlfriend, Sakshi, and be happy. But the reality? It's just a constant cycle of crushing poverty and juggling jobs to pay hospital bills for the man he thinks is his dad. And if that wasn't enough, Sakshi's father just lays it all out with his brutal ultimatum: come back when you're rich. Basically, until Akil is a millionaire, marrying his daughter is completely off the table. And that is what really kicks off Akil's desperate hunt for some serious cash. So, just as Akil is hitting absolute rock bottom, thinking all hope is lost, his entire world gets flipped completely upside down by a discovery he never saw coming. In this total whirlwind, he finds out the guy in the hospital isn't even his father, just a con artist who found him after a train crash years ago. Then, in an old trunk, he finds a locket with a photo of his real parents. And through that, he learns the truth. His real father is Penalao Juri, a legendary diamond king living in Bangkok. In a split second, he goes from being a total nobody to the heir of an incredible fortune. But talk about cruel timing. At the exact moment he finds out he's about to be a millionaire, the news flashes on the TV. Penalao Jajuri, the father he never even got to meet, has just died. It feels like the dream is over before it even had a chance to start. So Akil, of course, rushes to Bangkok. He's thinking he's just there to claim what's rightfully his. But what he's about to find out is that his father's will is, well, it's one of the strangest things you'll ever hear. First, let's just let this number sink in for a second. 3,000 crores. That's what we're talking about here. It's just this mind-boggling amount of money, the entire Jori empire, all left behind. The big question, though, is who gets it? I mean, Akil is assuming it's him. He's the son, right? The lawyer even confirms it. There's a will, and there's a single heir who gets every last rupee. But it's not Akil. So who could it possibly be? And this is where the story gets truly absurd. The sole heir is named Entertainment. And Entertainment is his father's super pampered, beloved golden retriever. The entire 3,000 crore fortune belongs to a dog. Akil's new rival is literally a four-legged animal. So what's a guy to do? Well, Akil's first plan isn't exactly heroic. He figures, hey, there's only one way to get that money, and that's to get the dog out of the picture permanently. He actually manages to get hired as Entertainment's caretaker, which gives him the perfect opportunity to launch a bunch of these ridiculous cartoon-style attempts to get rid of him. He tries electrocution. He tries poison. He even tries just abandoning the poor dog out in the middle of nowhere. And every single time, it backfires spectacularly, usually with Akil getting hurt himself. But then, we get a huge turning point. During one of his schemes gone wrong, Akil ends up in real, actual danger, like life or death danger. And guess who comes to save him? Entertainment. The dog he's been trying to get rid of this whole time heroically saves his life. And this moment just shatters everything for Akil. He sees this dog's pure, unconditional loyalty, and it changes him. As he puts it, an animal taught him a lesson on what it means to be human. He gives up on the money, gives up on the schemes, and just decides to walk away. But of course, this is a movie. So just as Akil and Entertainment form this new bond, the real villains finally decide to show up and ruin everything. So let's meet Karan and Arjun. They're Panalal's greedy second cousins, and they arrive with their lawyers and a really sneaky plan. They use this absolutely ridiculous legal loophole, claiming that since the will says entertainment gets everything, and they just happen to own a company called the Entertainment Company, the fortune should legally be theirs. And believe it or not, the court actually buys it. Karan and Arjun take over the entire empire, and the first thing they do is literally throw both Akhil and Entertainment out on the street. So now, these two former enemies are broke, homeless, and they have to team up to fight a common enemy and get back what's theirs. And all of this sets the stage for the big climax, a final dramatic showdown, where this newfound friendship and loyalty gets put to the ultimate test. Okay, so here's how it goes down. Akhil cleverly tricks the villains into confessing their entire fraud on camera. This kicks off a wild chase as they try to get away with the evidence. It all leads to this intense standoff where Karan points a gun right at Akhil. And in this incredible moment of sacrifice, Entertainment leaps in front of Akhil and takes the bullet. And thankfully, you'll be happy to hear, Entertainment survives. With their confession on tape and their violent attack witnessed by everyone, Karan and Arjun are arrested on the spot. And the massive fortune is finally returned to its two rightful heirs, Akhil and his unbelievably loyal best friend, Entertainment. So this really brings the whole story full circle, doesn't it? Akhil began this journey completely obsessed with money, thinking it was the answer to all his problems. But after all this chaos, he found something way more important. It makes you ask, what could possibly be more valuable than 3,000 crores? In the end, it's that simple. It's a bond built on loyalty. It's the connection he made with the dog that was willing to give up everything for him. And it taught him that the real treasures in life, the things that are truly priceless, are never, ever going to be found in a bank account.